Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It is Friday once again, which means we bring to you yet another obscurity in literature. And yeah, this big old box here is actually quite the piece of literature. As you can see, at least by the English translation, this is heavy by the way. This is the Arknights Official Artworks Volume 1 Reset. I can't read Chinese, it is Chinese. Arknights is a Chinese-developed game. In case you don't know what Arknights is, it's a tower defense, character-driven game with a lot, and I mean a lot, of backstory to it. There's a lot of story going on to the game. But one of the things that's always been kind of cool is just the overwhelming amount of art that the game has produced. And the thing is, most of the art books up until this was released were predominantly just all the big splash screens you see upon loading up or at various events or people have, been commissioned to make. But this is getting into the actual details of the characters. And even though I'm not much of an artist, I do have a good eye, I'd like to say, an appreciation for the work that goes into designing these characters. And when I first stumbled across this book, I was blown away by just how meticulous the details are in this thing. Now, this was quite a challenge to get a hold of. As you can see, this ships in a big friggin' box. And yeah, there is a book in here, and I already tried to take a look, but I didn't want to damage everything, just to show you what you get if you are interested in this. Now, it does mention this is Volume 1 Reset. Okay, I want to make that distinction. The original Volume 1 is quite different. It's just the big splash artwork of the characters, and then when they are leveled up and promoted, it's got that artwork as well. That's not what this one has. This one actually has more pages than the original Volume 1, and, well, let's stop talking about it and let's get to it, okay? So upon opening it up, you are greeted to bubble wrap. Now, one of the things about Arknights is all of its stuff tends to be very cosmetic. So there is a card in here with a serial number, but unfortunately it's only going to be available on the Chinese servers of the game. So even if you really dig Mia here, I'm like, I couldn't even remember her name for a sec. Who's got multiple forms at this point? I'm not even sure which version of this is for. I'm going to guess the original. Got some little postcard. Another postcard. Oy! And then the bulk of the box is another box. Now, realistically, I don't know how many of these boxes I'm going to keep. This is something I want to keep for my collection. Knocking figures over here. Okay, so you can see it doesn't even close. Nothing on the inside. Not super exciting. Just figured I'd show you. Got some nice Kingdom Death style wrapping paper here for Arknights Volume 1. It's just a little tag. There's nothing special there. Alright. Came loose. So inside that... Oh no, I'm damaging the value of it. You've got a acrylic Rhode Island. But you got a nice little acrylic key card ID badge, much like the actual characters in the game. And a link to the site for it. Kind of a nice little touch. Okay, that's just foam. Alright. Let's keep going. More foam. phone that is making a mess. No, I guess that's actually the cover. Terra Conversation. Terra being the location that Arknights takes place in. I love how I'm so nonchalant about just tearing into this stuff. Okay, we got a whole Q&A thing about, I don't know what that I can't read. Obviously in Chinese. Oh, those are kind of interesting. It's always cool to see some of the background material for the characters and stuff. I'm going to assume that this is people that actually worked on the game. I'll hold on to that. See if I can have some friends do some translating for me later. And finally, we get to the actual book, I think. Is there anything else hiding in here that I need to be aware of? No, that looks like it. Okay. Alright. Oh! We finally made it. On the cover there. So that's kind of nice. I'm just going to take that off for the moment. Got that Oreopathy all over it. For purposes of filming, we will remove that. Okay, obviously this is volume 1, like we said, and it is going to be in Chinese. I know I usually have all these Japanese books, but as far as I know, there is no Japanese one. Maybe for the anime, I'm not 100% sure, but they do give you a quick breakdown of the important terms, which are in English. So if you want to learn about originium or oropathy, obviously there's going to be a lot of that stuff in English already on the internet. But for somebody like me who is a lapsed player who picks it up every now and then, it is kind of a nice reminder of what's out there. And what's cool is, so the book is actually broken down by the factions that are actually in game. So obviously Rhode Island is going to be first, and everybody's favorite doctor. Now what's really neat about this, as I was saying, the meticulous level of detail. So if you're not familiar with the game, you don't really ever see the doctor. But you do see he's got layers upon layers of gear and clothing. So what's kind of nice is this book actually breaks down everything, each of the layers that they're wearing, all the little gear, gizmos, gadgets, things that they're carrying with them. So that's kind of a cool little touch. Any logos, decorations, designs, emblems that they're wearing. We see a breakdown on that stuff too, how everything goes on. And then all of his stats are obviously going to be question marks up there in the corner. Again, breaking down everything that you see for these characters. And that's kind of cool. They got the basics right here. And again, anybody ever wants to get around to designing figures for anything based on Arknights, let's talk. I will get you the necessary materials that you need. Like, check this out. The fact that we've got everything broken down, like the patterns on her kimono. I don't recognize Fumizuki. I don't have that many Lungman characters, so at least these are older Lungman stuff. USSG. Rhine. Penguin. So like I said, we got all the characters. My main man, Silver Ash there. And after introducing all of the main players in the world of Terra, then we actually get to the operator section, which is kind of neat because it starts off with all your basics. Everybody knows Fang and Cruz. And Beagle and Hibiscus. But again, down to the shoes, you can see we've got, how her necktie is designed, the bag that she's always carrying, her gloves, how she looks underneath that jacket, all of Beagle's layers. Personally, I always like... not Cruz. Who's the one with the frying pan? She's been one of my go-tos, like, forever. All of Lava's layers here. And what's also kind of neat is that we get... So the full art, we get some of the design work behind it, but then we also get to see their actual in-game sprites, and then we also get some views on all of their various weapons, which is kind of cool. Our lizard man friend. We never knew he was busy playing with his phone the entire time. Vanilla. Our robots. Again, we get to see all of the various angles, all of the parts, and this is just the basic stuff. When you get to the higher ranked operators, then we start to see some more interesting stuff. We get the basic art, we get their promoted art, we still have the in-game sprites, their weapons, but then we get a lot more detail about each of the characters as well. Courier, Scavenger. I mean, like, some of these characters I don't even recognize at this point. And the funny thing is, this book is dated till 2020, and I'm filming this in 23, and already there's stuff that's been released in China that's still not even available in the US. You know, Texas gets her upgrade. But again, really neat to see all the levels of detail, how everything breaks down, just like all, like, the little bangles, the little sashes, where her stuff is, the inside, and how her jacket works. Nobody's ever going to see that or know about it in-game. Deep color with her tentacles. There's also the fact that not anybody is really human in Arknights. Oh, Perfumer, I remember you. Gravel. Again, we get designs on how their costumes and outfits work for those that are have tails, weird body parts. Estelle. I thought that was Gavale. I always liked Bee Hunter. She was one of my first. She's not Vanguard, is she? I think she's just a guard. So again, there's just page upon page. Cliff art. And again, some characters obviously have a lot more time spent on them. And then as we get deeper into the book, when you get up into the way higher rank stuff, like Blaze here, you can see some of their earlier designs, which is really neat to see. Saria, we got some of her early work. All the weird transparent jackets and vests everybody wears. Exusiae, the Angels. For some reason, I always thought she was a guy. There's Submachine Gun. Oh, hey, Shining. Like, I remember you. Now, what gets really neat is as we move even further into the book, because I don't want to give too much away, but not that it matters, they actually have all of the design work for the costumes and skins that were released up until that point as well. Of which there are quite a few substantial ones. Except we don't get the... Well, I'll take that, but no, I guess not. I was going to say, for the most part, we do not get any of the in-game sprite designs for the people that have costumes. And I'm also really curious if they have any of the Rainbow Six stuff. Or any of the crossovers, for that matter. I haven't come across any in there, but I'm like looking at this one of Jessica here, and it makes me think of like when they did the Rainbow Six crossover. I think I have that Siege skin. All the summer outfits in here, at least that were released at the time. So as we were saying, I guess if you like your furries or demons or dragons or anything, well, there's plenty of fun to be had here. I don't have him. He looks cool. Schwartz I got. course, I'm never good at really aiming her with her upgraded skills, but that's a me issue. So, a lot of fun to be had here. Oh, I take that back. We've got plenty of what seem to be, the various skin sprites. And some bonus art as well. So, there you have it. Nice, big, fat book full of design work. If you're into Arknights, I'd say hunt down one, but that's going to be easier said than done, obviously. You might want to keep your eyes peeled for it. I mean, for me, this is a really cool little treat. What I'm going to do with all the extra packaging, I have no idea, but unfortunately that really does add to the cost. I would like to see this book for under 100, but good luck. It took me a long time to get a decent price on this, and for the most part, it's because it didn't have the little acrylic stand that's supposed to come with it. But you know what? I'll take it. If it means I can get this book for under triple digits, then heck yeah, I'll take care of that. I mean, what am I going to do with a little plastic standee that I can see through? I'm actually shocked that they included this still, but this is what I was after. So, happy hunting. Keep your eyes peeled. I don't know if this has been reprinted yet. The fact that this is just volume 1 speaks well to the fact that we might get a volume 2, so that might be something to look for as well. And like I said, nobody is making any kind of tabletop models that really reflect this style. And considering how popular the game is, that's kind of a shame. So, with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.